Anyway, are there any questions for the Hattori-san and Yamamoto-san? Oh, yes, please.
Can I ask Hattori-san, not in his official capacity, but going back in time, what was the message in the beginning of nuclear program in Japan what convinced people what it should happen? Yeah, no, but maybe from when you were young. What was the message? What was it's made people say yes to nuclear?
Now?
No.
85.
In 55.
In the beginning, I joined TEPCO. I started my career in 1970. At that time, I'm a mechanical engineer and not so familiar about the nuclear. And the most important message might be that I mentioned in the what's most important for the young engineers in the safety cultures and the engineering ethics. That is the basic. And we have to have well, not only for the scientific, for the education or knowledge, but to the more as a humankind, how to manage with the face to the such kind of the difficult technology. We have to be prudent. We have to learn. We have to open. Such kind of thing is most important. Such kind of important thing is, I think this people, general public, is very carefully looking at the activity of the utility companies for not only the young engineer to the top management, and they are very carefully looking at. And so each individual, every level, have to have such kind of the sensitivity for and talking directly to. That might be the most important. That is the basis for the keeping the safety. And I have experienced so much for the troubles, but every time I myself to do openly and to talk and to the general public, and not only for the mass media. That my personal for the policy for the. And even though for the anti-nuclear mass media, I welcome. I don't leaving. Such kind of is very, very important to get the understanding for the the general public. So many mass media came to my home. Oh, welcome, coming in home, and I talk in the midnight. Oh, and such kind of the experience. Every time when some trouble happened, they came to my home. They well know about my home, and when I come back, many cars are waiting for me. And welcome, and I talk. That such kind of thing is, I think, that's very important, and I think now is a very difficult time for Japanese nuclear. As Yamamoto-san mentioned, who can trust them? The utility company is the lowest, and the government is not so high, and expert or international organization is a very high score, and that may be coming from that. And so, the most important is, I mentioned today, openness, transparency, and talk as an engineer or as a humankind. That may be the only way we can get trust and confidence. I'm sorry, I can. Is that for the answer to your question? But
It is, I understand. Thank you.
thank you.
Okay. Other question? Comment? Question?
Thank you. It's again to Mr. Hattori-san. On human resources development,
Yeah.
I know that a lot of nuclear countries are struggling with getting young people to study nuclear engineering because allegedly they're not interested anymore in the studies. And is it the problem also in Japan, and have the universities considered the need to increase the number of nuclear engineers, bearing in mind that you are now again starting to operate nuclear power plants that were previously shut down, and you're starting to construct new nuclear power plants. So you need additional specialists. That have the government vote on that and increase the number of students in the universities, and do young people want to study nuclear engineering? Thank you.
Thank you. A very important question. Concerning the university side, I think Professor Yamaguchi will answer to your question. But this is my personal opinion, and from the industry point of view. And the nuclear industry is so far not so innovative. Nuclear industry is very conservative. Nuclear regulatory body is also, do you have the actual operational data? Based on that is the basis for that. That means the innovation is not welcomed. We have not very far from very remote from innovation. And so we have to innovative technology like for the ITs or automobiles and aviations, all the other industry, they have innovation, not so much. That is maybe coming from the main reason is regulation. Regulation is only accept to application to the actual construction planning work. General assessment is never. That is very practice in the worldwide. Some countries like for SMR, not for the actual construction planning, they have studied the working together for industry side to the regulatory body. In that areas, the innovative technology might be one of the agenda between the regulatory body and the utility companies or industries. And so innovation is one of the most important, but an area for the young engineer. Young engineer want to the innovative technology and challenging. But nuclear is the most conservative. And look at for the main control room. It's very, very innovative. But actual the technology is 10 years before, already developed, not innovative. That because for how is the reliability? Do you have the confidence for that? How is the reliability for that was asked by regulatory body? We have to reply. And innovative technology is impossible too. And so for the industry side now is SMR is one of the area to be innovative technology, and now is the time to change. That is one area is how can we harmonize the regulatory requirement in the internationally. At present time, not harmonized. Each country by themselves, and some of the project is already moving in the OECD, NEA, or IAEA might be. IAEA is not so directly related to the safety regulation for that. That is only showing the standard for them. And so the regulatory body, that is not so easy. for the regulation is the responsibility of each individual country and the nations. And so how to harmonize is that might be led by the international organization like OECD NER or IAEA, I don't know. And also the industry also have to work together. But unfortunately, industry also very individual. You know, this SMR design concept is now is over 70. Each is individually. They do not talk in each other. We are the best. And so, without collaboration, it's impossible. So this, and a little bit not so confusing for us, not so talking to so widely spread. And so I'm very sorry, but important thing is we have to introduce innovative technology, but to do so, the regulatory bodies and the utility companies and the industries and all, we're working together. Now is the time working together to survive the nuclear industry in the worldwide. Now is a survivor. Without that, it's very difficult to survive the nuclear in the 2050s. This is my personal opinion. And that is the industry and also my personal opinion. And so transfer to Mr. Yamaguchi.
Microphone.
I agree that, of course, the innovation and the new technology is very attractive and for the young people. But I will present another aspect. You may know the Korean president, President Moon. He decided to stop nuclear policy when he became president in Korea. It's 5 years ago, I think. And after that, 3 years ago, in a Seoul University, the student who go to the graduate school of nuclear engineering was 0. Student is something such a realistic. If they can see the future perspective, vision, they will get into the nuclear area. And of course, the Korean policy are going to be changed. So it will be different, probably. But I would like to say that, of course, showing the innovation and the new technologies, those are, of course, important things. At the same time, students are realistic. They have to work for 40 years, 50 years. So the government should have the nuclear policy long term, right? This is one point. And I will show another example in this viewpoint. In Tokyo University of Tokyo, there are many students from Japanese students and the US students and others. But currently, half of them are Chinese students. It's because Chinese governments are promoting nuclear. So the Chinese young generation want to study nuclear, right? This is the reality. And I will show another aspect. In the Tokyo University and the Japanese universities, the students want to study the fusion engineering, fusion, because it looks very nice. And the ITER project is going on. So in this area, students are attracted, right? And another point, I think that in the university, the student in the nuclear engineering, the engineers should have varieties. I mean, not only nuclear engineers, but mechanical, electrical, civil, and geography, and many areas are needed. Maybe 20 years ago, the nuclear engineers, mechanical engineers, electrical engineers are working in there. And Hattori-san mentioned that the overconfidence should be one reason of the Fukushima accident, root cause, mindset. So, but in the future, we need to have a variety of people working in the nuclear field. So in the Japanese current situation, the student studying the nuclear engineering is coming back. But the mechanical department student and the electrical department student, they are not want to working in a nuclear engineering field. So I think from now on, we have to invite the engineers, students from various areas, not only nuclear, but sometimes social technology. Those areas may be very useful, workable. Yes, thank you.
Thank you. And other questions? Yes.
Thank you. Andres from the Geological Survey. So first of all, thank you for these nice overviews which you both gave. And now if you use your experience from local and from the governmental side, what's your gut feeling? So if maybe we start this process here in Estonia, maybe, then what is the number of people what the government or the Estonia needs to start this process, run this process, assess this process, monitor this process, and please don't consider the people working and at the power plant, but just for the government. Who is responsible for this? Do you have any guts feeling?
It's really tough question. That stakeholder involvement is very complicated. I don't know the situation in the Estonia. The power of local government is because in the past in Japan, the national government, the local government, the relationship like a master-servant relationship. The national government, if they order something, the answer is only yes, local government. But slightly the changes because of the without public understanding, the nothing proceed like a nuclear program. So the situation is a little bit changed now. So I don't know the situation in Estonia, but the important factor is to organize a regulator or national government or local government and also some NGO, I don't know who is. And also media is something key. In Japan, several media, and clearly divided to two parts. The support nuclear or abandon nuclear, like Asahi or Mainichi. Maybe you don't know the name, but so you organize such a meeting and also invite a media and show such a discussion. It's a kind of the starting point. This is my view. Is it okay? Do you answer your question? Not directly.
どのぐらいのその
You mean the national number of national government regulator or national government?
I mean to maintain the process, what the government needs.
だから政府、そうですね。だからまあでも主体的には走っちゃうと規制の人間でしょうね。
So we probably would need to establish some regulatory authority. We need to establish some kind of monitoring authority.
Yeah.
All these things. So how many officials approximately? Different activities. What's needed from one country to run this nuclear power or this system?
I see. National government. Now the NRA, the regulatory authority in Japan, it's called Southern Staff, is watching 50 nuclear power plant. So I don't know any examples other countries. どれぐらいかな? But at least you need some specialist to analysis or assessment of the safety of nuclear power plants, monitoring area. 100? No, if only the few or huge nuclear power, I think the 100, the size is 100. But you need also support from the research institute, such as JAA in Japan. I don't know what kind of organization in here. But 100, yeah, size like that.
I just done a quick research about the number of the people working for the nuclear regulatory agency. It's 1,100 people. Because they are monitoring on the 50 reactors, including experimental reactor or other facility related to nuclear. So
Now,
this number pretty much.
But that is now, but is when we started the nuclear program, not so many. About the 20 or 30 or 50, but gradually increasing, and supported by the research institute and also the university professors, also the specialists or the advisory groups, and very closely contact, not only for the government official, but for the research institute and the university professor. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe to comment. Just an example from Finland. So there is five operating reactors, and there's about few hundred people. And for example, in Slovenia, there is one operating reactor. There is, I think, 30 or 40 people in the regulator. So I would, and we have asked also from specialists. We as Fermi, we have asked from Finnish, like head of regulator, how many we would need. They say maybe 30, 50, something like that is what we have kind of got the estimation. Because you can always use the experts from different expert organizations and technical support organizations. So this is what we have got, different numbers from different regulators. Yeah.
And also depend on the system, the regulatory system. In Japan, it's a very detailed inspection or detailed review. It's by the regulatory body. Each detailed design, not a general or the basic design, but for the detailed design, the welding for the everything. And also the regular inspection every 13 months. That is also that it takes 2 or 3 months. That is too long compared with other countries. And so it depends on the regulatory system. Yeah.
Are there any question? Finished? Okay, thank you. Thanks so much. Time.